Hello everyone, this is Mr. Gant and I'm one of the guidance counselors here at Neptune High School. In this tutorial, I'd like to share a brief overview of the Naviance College and Career Readiness Program for students. Naviance has many great resources and your guidance counselor will be able to assist with showing you all of the features. However, for this tutorial, I will be sharing helpful college and career information for students as they plan for their future. Please feel free to explore all areas of the program. Frequently check your counselor's Google Classroom page and reach out to your counselor for any help. Login information can be found via checking your Neptune High School student email and going to the student.naviance.com and then it's /Neptune HS. You can also access this by going to the Neptune High School website, clicking on guidance, and you'll see here the Naviance link. It will take you to the website here to log in. You can click on student, and I'm going to enter my information. Enter the password. And what you notice here is in Naviance, it's going to notice your name, it's going to recognize who you are and the grade level that you're in. Also, towards the bottom of the page, there are many great resources that you might find helpful. So once you're in, if you scroll to the bottom, from Neptune High School, you're going to see various different links we've provided: ACT deadlines, SAT deadlines, Common App info, financial aid CSS profile info, application types, brag sheet. There's a link to the brag sheet, which will be helpful for letters of recommendation, Common App guide, a high school application guide, and then some various other resources that'll help you along the way. If we scroll back up, two of the main tabs we'll be focusing on are colleges and careers. In the careers tab, if we click on that, we can go to home. You're going to see a spot here called Explore Careers. If we click on that, you can click on various different options here. But one of the most helpful things is you can look up careers by keyword. You can also look up by category as well. So there's various different categories of careers that you can look into. And by clicking on them, it'll help provide some information on all of them and help you narrow down your search and provide you with some more career information. Over here, you're going to see something called the Career Interest Profiler. And then also, too, if we go back up to the careers part and click on Home, if we scroll down a little bit, we're also going to see it down here. Under Career Assessments, these are going to be various tools that can help a student narrow down what it is that they might be researching for a career and help them narrow down their career interests. The Career Interest Profiler is a great resource that asks about 180 questions to a student, and based on the feedback, it can provide some helpful information to a student, and that student can also share that info with their guidance counselor to help them as they try to prepare for the future and kind of narrow down their possible career paths. So the Career Interest Profiler is a great resource that allows students to really provide info about themselves, and it provides some helpful feedback in narrowing down their possible career searches. And you would just click Start to begin that Career Interest Profiler survey. If we go back up to Careers and Home, there's an area here called Road Trip Nation Interview Archive. If we click Explore More, what we'll find in here is various different interviews with people in areas and professions that students might find interesting. So a lot of times you may hear of a certain career, but maybe you're not sure about what that person does for a living, what that career entails day to day. Well, in this area, you can actually watch interviews with people that are in those careers. You can narrow things down by interests, by themes, by leaders. If I click on by interests, there's various different fields of work and careers. And if I click on entrepreneurship, there's 164 people that are in the entrepreneurship field. If I click on that, you'll find interviews with many of them that go into basically describing what they do in that field and how they got into it and what they might do on a day-to-day level. And oftentimes this helps students, understand more of what somebody does in that career. They might have heard of somebody being an entrepreneur, but not quite sure what they do day in and day out. And these interviews will be greatly helpful to aid that student in finding if that's a career interest, a possible career interest for them. If we go back to careers and home, you'll see that we have the Explore Careers tab, the Road Trip Nation Archive, and the Career Interest Profiler. Those are all great resources. If we go back up to colleges, and in colleges, we want to click the home icon. It's going to take us to the area where you can research colleges and find your fit, do more research in colleges. You can apply to colleges and more information about scholarships and money and college visits. We'll start with the Find Your Fit area, and the Super Match and the College Match are great resources. If I click on Super Match, in this area, it'll help students narrow down possible college options for them based on certain criteria: location, academics, admission, student life, diversity, institution characteristics, cost, athletics, and other resources. So for example, under location, if a student's just looking at schools in New Jersey, then when they click on that, they'll just focus on schools in New Jersey. However, if they're looking at schools in New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey, then the student would just narrow it down that way. You have several different options, and each time you provide more feedback to this area, it narrows down your options even more. So it's a great resource. For example, some students might just be interested in going to a school on the West Coast, so therefore they would just click off those states. They would focus on in academics, what they might be considering for possible majors, some admission info, student life, what's offered on campus, along with diversity on campus, and other characteristics, cost also, and what athletic programs are offered. So the more information a student is able to provide in this area, the more Naviance is able to assist and narrow down a student's options. All this feedback too can be shared with your guidance counselor, of course, and we can assist you along the way. If we go back to colleges and colleges home, we can research colleges and start to begin to make Naviance individualized to you. So basically, by clicking on I'm thinking about, you can actually start to add colleges to Naviance, the ones that you're thinking about right now. These aren't schools that you're going to necessarily apply to yet, and we haven't moved them into the application list yet, but they're just schools you're thinking about based on the various info you have and what your interests may be. And if I click on Add Colleges to List, you can look up schools and you can search them in various different ways. Or there are several different schools already listed. For this tutorial, I'm going to click on Brookdale and another local school, Monmouth University. So you just check off the box next to the school. And then if you scroll back up, what you're going to do is go over and you can favorite these schools. And that adds them to your to the part that basically shows that you have interest in them. So by clicking on favorite, you'll see they're now listed. The delivery, so you'll see the college, the ways that students apply to the schools. For example, Monmouth has a CA next to it. That stands for Common App. So that is a school that you can apply to through the Common App. who added this, which is the student. The application deadlines is also an important feature. For Brookdale, they have a rolling admission. They do have a deadline here, and obviously, you'll want to always check the school website and be in communication with the admissions staff for any updates. If we look at Monmouth, we'll see they have several different deadlines, including an early decision starting November 15th. So that's an important area to look at, because if that is a November 15 early decision deadline, your guidance counselor and yourself, we have to make sure that you have what you need submitted into that school ahead of time. We want to make sure you're meeting all your deadlines. So this is a very helpful part. And once again, you always want to check the school website for any updates, but you'll see the deadlines there. If we click on these schools, say these are schools that I'd like to apply to, and I want to move forward and send my information to them and have my counselor assist, then I'm going to click on the box next to the school, and I'm going to actually move them into the application list. Once again, I'll go back and just show you that here. Here we have, once they're added to the application list, you'll see Brookdale and Monmouth, and it's going to ask the type of application deadline you prefer. So you can click on rolling. There's other ones, and how you submit your application. For Brookdale, it's direct to the institution. Students do paper copies, or they apply through the website. For Monmouth, it's a little different. They have, which application deadline do you prefer? So you can click on early action, various different deadline dates. And you want to be detailed here, because this is how your guidance counselor is able to see how you're applying and how we can best assist you to make sure you have everything in. It'll also ask how you'll submit your application. I'm not sure yet. Direct to the institution, perhaps you're applying through their website or via the Common App, are all different ways. And based upon what you choose, you're able to, we are able to, as your guidance counselors, we're able to see how you're applying, so we make sure that all deadlines are met. For this tutorial, I'm just going to click on, for Monmouth, I'm going to apply via Common App and regular decision. If you wanted to add applications, you can go about that right here, but I'm going to click on the add and request transcripts. And this is where it's going to notify the counselor that this is where you're applying to and how you're applying. If I click on that, it's going to say what type of transcripts are you requesting, and there's initial and final. So the initial would be you're applying to that school, it's the beginning of the school year. They're going to we would send your initial transcript. Final transcripts and mid-year transcripts, those would come into play, in the middle of the year if they need feedback, if the school is requesting that, or at the end of the school year when all your final grades are in. And it depends, if you're an early grad and you're a junior and you're graduating early, that would be, towards the end of your junior year, or if you're a senior, obviously at the end of your senior year. Noted here, it says use this form to request transcripts for your college applications. You can request additional transcripts, such as mid-year transcripts, later using Add Transcript Request from your application list. Any existing transcript requests for the chosen college applications will not be undone. You can check the status of any transcript request and manage transcripts. So for this tutorial, I'm going to send my initial transcript, and it will be for these two schools, Brookdale and Monmouth. And I'm going to click on Request and Finish. It's going to see that I have the schools noted here, how I'm applying, deadlines, submission types, things along those lines. Please note here, there's something that comes up. It says, it looks like you are not currently able to apply to Common App schools. Match your Common App account to your Naviance student account to get started. When Naviance sees that you're applying via Common App, we have to make sure the Common App what you have on your Common App application goes along with what is noted in Naviance. So you need to match accounts. And that's simply, you can click match accounts and it'll walk you through the steps to do that. But we need to make sure that your Common App and your Naviance are linked. Once that's done, then we will have a list. We will receive notice, and we'll see that in Naviance. When we go in as your guidance counselor, we'll see where you're applying, and we'll take the next steps to make sure that your information gets sent accordingly. If we go back up to colleges and the home page, under Apply to Colleges is where you're going to find the letters of recommendation information. That's located here, and by clicking on letters of recommendation, we just click on it, we're then able to request letters of recommendation from a teacher. The first step in this process is always to complete your brag sheet, and if you need a copy of your brag sheet, all you need to do is go back to home, or if you need a copy of a brag sheet to fill out, go to home, and remember it's listed as one of those additional forms here, and you can find it there. We're just going to go back to colleges, home. We're going to scroll down and go back to the letters of recommendation part. Once your brag sheet's completed, then you can provide a copy to your guidance counselor. Your guidance counselor will always provide a letter of recommendation for you, and you would just need to simply provide us with your brag sheet to do that. You don't have to put in an official request through Naviance for your counselor to write your letter. You do, however, need to request a teacher or staff member to write your letter. In order to request a teacher, please click on the letters of recommendation, which we've done, and you want to reach out to your teacher first and ask them if they can write you a letter. If they accept, then you can provide them with your brag sheet, and then you go into Naviance to request them to write your letter. Once we're in that area here and we're ready to request a teacher, we just click Add Request, and all of our school teachers are going to be listed. And you just click on whichever teacher it is. And then number 2, it says select which colleges this request is for. All current and future colleges that you add to your colleges I'm applying to list, or specific ones. So you would be able to note that. Also too, it often will tell you what is required through the school. For example, Monmouth, at least one letter of recommendation is required, 4 is allowed, and a due date. Obviously, you're going to want to consistently check with the college for any changes in their requirements. If we scroll down here and see number 3, you're going to want to provide any additional information that you'd like to share, including thanking your teacher or the staff member for writing the letter for you. And once you click Submit Request, then your teacher will get that notice. By that time, they already would have the brag sheet you provided to them. They're then able to go in and provide the letter for you. And they upload it on your Naviance account, and then your guidance counselor is able to receive it on their end in your Naviance area, and we're able to then send it off to the college. A brief note on that, when you're applying when you're looking into letters of recommendation and you have someone from outside of the school writing you a letter, then you need to have that person email your counselor the letter so we can upload it to your Naviance page for you. So if it's somebody from outside the school, have that person email the letter to your counselor and then we can upload it for you. Next, we're just going to go back, and obviously when you're ready, you just click Submit Request, and that's what would send your teacher the request. If we go back to colleges, we want to make sure we're on the home. In here we have the scholarships and money part. This will be an area where you're able to see in addition to what we have located in the school, in the guidance department, the physical copies we have in the scholarship drawer, on here in Naviance, we try to do a really good job of making sure that what we have provided to us is also updated on Naviance. So if you click on scholarship list, you're able to research a lot of different scholarships that are known to Neptune High School that we know about and that we put on here so you can find more info out about the scholarship name, the amount they're for, any deadlines. So this is a great resource for you. And once again, that can be found under colleges, the homepage, and this whole area here, scholarships and money, is a great resource. Please check it. Please check Naviance frequently, this area too, because we do try to upload and update it frequently as new information is brought to us. One quick note too in the college application process, as your guidance counselors, we send your letters of recommendation, your transcripts, and any school information to the school for you. So that's what we do for you. It's your job as the student and the family to send any SAT or ACT scores and actually apply to the school. So once again, as your guidance counselors, we send your letters of recommendation, your school information, and your transcripts to the school. And Naviance is the resource and the way that we use to send that to the schools for you. Again, this was a brief overview, and your guidance counselor can certainly assist with any questions and go further into all the benefits that Naviance provides. I'm hopeful that this was informative for you and you do take advantage of all the features of the Naviance program. Thanks for your time, and just reach out to your counselor with any questions. Thank you.